Oh, yeah.
How do I get her back? Okay, man, I'm click on there. This meeting is live stream. Okay, you got the little notification?
Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah.
righty. And we're live, everybody. Good evening, beloveds, and welcome to this wonderful live session of Aroma-Warriors. I am your host, none other than Danny. My co-host couldn't be with us today, Lee April Burton, but we're sending her love today, her and her family. And we have a wonderful guest, the none other than Marissa Price, a fellow social worker and a fellow essential oil enthusiast, if you will, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've had her on my channel, and now we're doing it again. And thank you for gracing us with your presence again.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, absolutely. I thoroughly enjoyed the first time. I know we're going to enjoy it even better the second time around, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
And
absolutely.
Marissa is here as a fellow social worker. If you've seen the last video we were talking about, I gave you a little bit about her background. She is a healer, an educator, and a business strategist, right? Yeah, she has
Mm-hmm.
a wonderful bio where she's dedicated to supporting, uplifting others, her journey to freedom and well-being. Okay, and she has a unique background in social work
Mm-hmm.
and a diverse background spanning from banking, entrepreneurship, and mental health advocacy. And to hear her full bio, which is beautifully, I had to click a link in the description so you can hear all the wonderful other things that she is about. So again, thank you for being here, Marissa.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So we wanted to get you back here on Aroma-Warriors to
Mm-hmm.
pivot a little bit and talk a little bit more about aromatherapy. Aromatherapy and you and being a business professional and,
Mm-hmm.
just talking to us about what it is, essential oils have done for you. So we'll start off with this. Like I mentioned that you have a diverse background, of course, including social work, and you consider
Mm-hmm.
yourself a passionate healer in the realm
Mm-hmm.
of advocacy for mental health and well-being, offering solutions for healing. Can you tell us more about that?
So the label of healer that I kind of adopted was through working with Coach Yolanda on YouTube.
Okay.
She's a spiritual life coach. But she actually basically put a mirror up to me and was like, "You're a healer." And that's kind of a label that I had been running away from for so long. But
Okay.
I feel like through telling my story authentically, in making safe space for other people, specifically Black women, to share their stories, because we often don't have that in life, safe spaces, unfortunately. But by creating those safe spaces for people to share their stories, I feel like that's very healing. So I feel like that's kind of my angle of healing, is just being authentically me, sharing what I've been through, and then supporting other people and sharing what they've been through as well. But social work, yes. So I do have a master's degree in social work, concentration in economic development. So I went from being in banking to going to graduate school for social work, and then went back to the banking field in economic development. And unfortunately, in a job that really was toxic to my spirit. So I'm in the process of healing from that as well. It's been about almost 6 months at this point. So I'm still relatively new off
Right.
of that job.
Mhm.
But in sharing my story, sharing what I've been through, sharing like the mental health challenges that sometimes go along with being in toxic jobs. And I have found a community of Black women who have gone through such similar experiences, unfortunately. These patterns that we see in the workplace are so prevalent. And it's just over and over, we're exposed to these hostile environments. So I feel that sharing my story, sharing, what I've been through, will hopefully help other people heal.
Absolutely. That support system, right? If you will,
Mm-hmm.
of healing is invaluable. It's
Mhm.
invaluable when you have others around you supporting you through the process, understand what you're going through, understand about, being in a toxic work environment and what it's
Mhm.
like to try to work through it. And, you
Yeah.
know,
Mhm.
perhaps you can give each other tips and,
Mhm. Yeah.
social support in order to make it through until you're able to do something different if you can, right?
Mhm. Absolutely. Yeah, and I feel that watching Dr. Kamani's Lifting as We Climb consulting
Mhm.
and Colette Elizabeth's channel, who I know you collabed with, but
Yeah, that's my YouTube sister. Yeah.
yes, yes. Yeah, watching their videos and seeing, being able to link what I was going through with what they went through was
Right.
powerful because often we feel so isolated in what we're experiencing, like we're the only ones. So to see their videos, to be able to be in the chat and have other Black women share their stories, it was very, very healing. So yes, that community of support is pivotal, I think. Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's just one way of working through, or one way of dealing or coping, if you will, is to have
Yes.
community, have that social support.
Yeah.
And then just to, you know, previous conversations we talked about, Marissa, you mentioned to me that you actually use essential oils yourself. Um,
Hmm.
and what brought you to, I mean, as another modality, that could you explain what brought you
Hmm.
to using essential oils in the first place?
Yeah. So I suffer from migraine. Thankfully, it's kind of lessened as I've gotten older. But when I was in middle school, I developed migraine to where I would lose my vision too when I had migraine attacks.
Mhm.
So I was looking for kind of a natural remedy because I tried migraine medication and I had really bad side effects from that. So I tried using like peppermint oil for migraines, and I found that to be the thing that stops it when I feel kind of it's called, I think, predrome
Mhm.
come on. I'm able to use peppermint oil to kind of stop the symptoms in their tracks before it goes to like a full-blown migraine attack. So that has been pivotal for me to just be able to have that and use that, and not have to rely on medication that has, severe side effects sometimes.
Right, absolutely. I'm glad that you pointed that out for those of us in the natural world who
Yeah.
enjoy incorporating something natural as opposed to conventional medicine that, like you mentioned, can cause
Hmm.
side effects. So um,
Yes.
so having community and having a good self-care routine, it sounds like that you incorporated essential oils. Tell us how the essential oils have been a part of your healing. You mentioned that you use them for migraine. So
Hmm.
that what helps you get through your days, or what might bring on onset of a migraine. If you can share that, if share as much
Yeah.
as you're comfortable sharing.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll say, yeah, it has definitely helped in me, reducing migraine symptoms, which has been pivotal. And also, as someone who has experienced long COVID after I had the initial diagnosis in July of 2020, I think.
Okay.
And about for a couple years after that, I had experienced symptoms. But essential oils really helped me regain my sense of smell, which I
Mhm.
know that I've seen articles about and stuff like that, but I don't think it's talked enough about because a lot of people still don't have their sense of smell back after contracting COVID-19. So it was pivotal in me being able to just have like a diffuser by my bedside while I was recovering to, kind of reawaken
Mhm.
my senses,
Mhm.
because we still don't know a lot about, the virus and how it affects different parts of our bodies, but having no smell is really traumatizing. And I don't think that's something that we really thought about before. So yeah, having essential oils, being able to like reawaken those senses again,
Mhm.
has been pivotal as well to heal.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. It's funny
Mm-hmm.
that you mentioned that. I was just contacted this week by someone similar symptoms, sense of smell.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Mm-hmm.
seems to be a common thread with
Mm-hmm.
people who have gone through
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Was referring them to using lavender and lavender
Mm-hmm. That's what I
frankincense.
used.
Yes,
Yeah.
most definitely. So thank
Yeah.
definitely for sharing that. So those of you who heard that, that could be something
Mm-hmm.
perhaps that you could utilize, you
Mm-hmm.
add essential oil to help with your sense of smell, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so that being said, going forward, how do you see yourself using essential oils? Like, do you see yourself like, okay, this is only for something for when I'm experiencing this, or would you utilize it for like
Mm-hmm.
daily self-care or just relaxing or however you would plan to use, if you plan to use it
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to do that. Yeah, I do have like a set of essential oils. I'm
Okay.
traveling at the moment, so I don't have access to those. There's back in my storage unit in the US.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, when I did have that, I would just play around with them. Well, not play around with them. Look up the uses and then use them depending on what ailment or what thing I was experiencing that day.
Mhm.
But yeah, I guess I see myself because I love scents. I think scents are, they reawaken certain parts of you.
Yeah.
Just having the ability to smell something and it kind of change your mood, like
Yeah.
that's real. So yeah, I love scents and I see myself definitely using essential oils going forward.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Two things. You talked about uplifting your mood. So essential oils
Hmm.
definitely do that. And I talk
Yeah.
about like using like lemon or lemongrass or frankincense is good uplifting essential
Hmm.
oils. Um, and you mentioned orange. Also, our citrus oils are good for that as well as also
Mm.
as lavender. So I did
Mm.
feel about talking about uplifting your mood specifically
Right.
for grief, but it would those essential oils
Mm.
mentioned
Hmm.
is good for uplifting your mood.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I know that.
absolutely. Yeah. And another thing you mentioned when I was tickling, you said I'm playing around. I know you would continue, but that is common. People
Hmm.
will,
Hmm.
say, oh, I like the smell of that. They don't know why they're using it. They'll just pick up and start
Hmm.
it and
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah.
what they're doing, haven't
Hmm.
researched it, don't even know if it's something that you could be using, or you should put it back. You shouldn't even be using it.
Hmm.
So,
Yes. Yes.
that being said, that's why I love teaching and what I do,
Hmm. Yeah.
and sharing about that. I don't know if I shared with you before, Marissa, but I did have a master class that I was coming up with just to talk about just that, playing
Oh,
with
okay.
essential oils.
Okay.
So
I
to
didn't know.
give people a newbies an opportunity to learn about using essential oils simply, safely, and effectively.
Mm.
So it's called Five
So,
Things to Consider Before Using Essential Oils.
mm. Understood.
Yeah, so that'll be dropped September 30th, 2023. So
Okay.
if you're interested, I'll send you the link, and I'll put a link in the description for anybody else who's interested in coming.
Hmm.
Okay, just so you know. Um, So I'm glad that you mentioned that. So some people do. It's like, no, no, no,
Yes.
no, we want to use them simply, safely, and effectively.
Yes.
So pivoting just a bit, you are the founder of Free Black Women Virtual Community for Black
Hmm.
women. As I
Yes.
mentioned, once before, Black women entrepreneurs. Let me be specific. All right. Tell us a little bit of a history behind what inspired you to start this group.
So I think being in the banking field, having a business background, I was able to bring the skills that I have gained working in banking, working in corporate environments, and also doing research on the unique challenges that Black women entrepreneurs face,
Mhm.
and kind of connect that to the digital world because
Okay.
there are so many new opportunities that have opened up with the digital economy.
I'll click on that.
Um,
This meeting is live stream. Okay, got the little notification?
mhm.
All right. I think I'm getting some feedback here. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And we're live, everybody.
Oh,
Good
Lord.
evening, beloveds, and welcome. How do I stop that? Okay, there we go.
Okay.
We're working out, y'all. Uh-huh. Yeah.
But yeah, the opportunities that exist in the digital economy, I don't think are talked about often enough, how it can help so many of us exit toxic work environments, toxic environments, period, because it gives you location freedom. You can work wherever you want, as long as there's Wi-Fi. and time freedom. You can work on your own schedule too. So I think that going forward, I'm going to try to continue to promote the message that more Black women should be digital entrepreneurs, or should at least consider it, because I know entrepreneurship isn't for everyone. But I think if we have that option, it's powerful, because, more options gives you more freedom, because you don't feel like you have to stay stuck in an environment that's not serving you anymore. So yeah, I hope to continue that going forward.
I love that. And as a budding online entrepreneur myself, I thoroughly encourage everyone to join those who are interested in the community. It's a wonderful thing when you can be supported, by others like you and like mind, in a space. And I'm a part of other groups where women, and it's nothing like that sisterhood, if you will. That helps you to do the thing, give you the courage to do the thing, right? Give you the support and be your I don't want to say cheerleaders, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're to stand for you, like, go girl, do this and do that, So I applaud you for creating that community and having that safe space where, online entrepreneurship, because you provide not only the space, but you provide the resources and to help them to get started. And I imagine they support each other with information that they know in order to help each other grow, right?
Yeah, we have digital entrepreneurs from all different fields. So we have artists, virtual assistants, consultants, writers, all in this community, pursuing digital entrepreneurship and sharing what we have learned. Like you said, resources, different tools you can use, doing breakdowns of those. And we also just started having co-working sessions this week. So those times where you don't want to work solo and you do want other people, seeing other people work, I feel like kind of gives you momentum sometimes. So we started those, and it's been lovely to be surrounded by current and aspiring Black women digital entrepreneurs in all different fields.
Absolutely. I mean, and particularly if it's new to you, such as myself, are you trying to, you mentioned once before, I think I saw one of your video, when you're trying to learn all the technical stuff.
Yep.
That can be a little intimidating.
Yeah, it can. It can. Yes. And there are so many tools out there too. It's overwhelming.
And all the different platforms that you can do the things on, from creating newsletters to having landing pages, to creating courses, to it's so much. It's like, oh my goodness, where do I begin?
And all of those things excite me. So I love teaching other people how to use it. I love breaking it down, so that you don't have to be like a tech expert to understand, and it can be more accessible. So yeah, I love doing that.
Yeah. And that's encouraging when you have somebody. It's one thing to read it. I get it.
Yeah.
You can read the instructions and all that, but sometimes you just want somebody to say, hey, Marissa, show me how to do this.
Yeah, I get that.
Let's do a Zoom, let's do a screen share. Just tell me where to click. What am I doing wrong?
Yes.
Even when you're looking at in the instructions and what have you, just like, it's still not clicking.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And I have been there before too, so I completely understand that. It is overwhelming. Yeah.
Yes, most definitely. So I appreciate, again, I applaud you for the community that you're creating, an online community of Black women who can come together and support one another. And I think that I shared with you before, we are better together.
Yeah.
When we do things together, it has a huge impact.
That's true. That is so true.
A huge impact. And we don't realize it until we're in the space and we're like, oh, wonderful. This is nice,
That's true. And it takes the pressure off of you to have to have all the answers, all the knowledge, everything. You're sharing it with other people who can bring their expertise into. So yes, completely agree.
Absolutely. And I imagine there are some people, maybe people in your space who are in the holistic space. They might be holistic online entrepreneurs. So inviting those as well, holistic entrepreneurs, to learn how to do different things online. You never
Absolutely. Yeah.
So having said that, how do you see yourself, or do you find yourself, like perhaps when you're working or something like that? Do you ever diffuse essential oils while you're working?
I used to. I don't have my diffuser anymore because I'm traveling with the bare essentials right now.
I got you.
But yeah, when I was in the US, I did have a diffuser. And that would help me kind of, depending on the scent, like stay focused, stay alert during those days. But yeah, I enjoyed my diffuser and I do miss it. That's one of the things that I miss back in my storage unit in the US.
I will give our audience a tip. So since you don't have your diffuser with you, one of the things you can do is be a personal diffuser. Put one drop in your hand, rub it together, and just take a whiff.
Oh. Wow,
so when you're working, your community is something you want to share with them, put one drop in their hand of their essential oil, and you have it, while you're working in your co-working spaces, and you're going to smell the aroma. While you're working. Of course, don't touch your face or put your finger in your eye. Don't do that. But on your hand. But that's one way of being a personal diffuser. And secondly, I'm telling you my secrets, y'all. I put 2 drops on a cotton ball. This is for
okay.
And I put it in my brassiere.
Oh, wow. That is something I've never heard of. Okay.
So that's a personal diffuser on the go, Marissa. So if you find yourself traveling or anything, it might be sensitive if you put it directly on your skin. So you might put a drop of carrier oil on that cotton ball with the essential oil, so it doesn't irritate you. Because sometimes you don't know if you're irritated by use of essential oils, and completing a patch test might help. No, but you can put carrier oil on the cotton ball. Put 1 to 2 drops. I wouldn't recommend no more than 2. And then put your brassiere, and you'll have that fragrance. So every time you're just sort of, needing that diffuser effect, you just sort of do like this, and it.
Oh, wow. That's a great tip. Thank you.
If you're, the community that you serve, wanting to use essential oils to help them, the things that they do, a good essential oil would be rosemary or lemon.
Oh, okay.
To help you focus. It's mentioned in my resources that using lemon essential oils helps students when they're studying. So perhaps it can help your community while they're doing their thing, or rosemary.
I love that. Thank you.
In their working space. So hopefully that's helpful to you.
Yes.
I also want to invite your community too, if possible, to come to the 5 things to consider before using essential oils, because you do want to look at the essential oils and see whether or not that's something that you can use, because you might have a health challenge that might not be advantageous for you to use that particular essential oil. So we always want to be safe. Always want to be safe. So so hopefully that's helpful for you and your community.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
So just to wrap up here, is there anything else that you would like to add, like an ending message? I know I would like to share I mentioned about using the safe use of essential oils for you and your community, if they choose to do so. Would you have an ending message about self-care and well-being and being in the virtual business space? I know that was a lot. But what would you say?
I think I would say it's okay to put yourself first. I think we're taught that we have to put everyone else in our lives before us, but truly you have to focus on self-preservation. Sometimes you have to put your needs first in order to be able to effectively serve anyone else. So I think, that's the ending message. And I know that essential oils can definitely help with that.
Yes, they definitely can. And I'm looking in the chat. Somebody said, let's talk about it when someone gives you a hug and you smell good. So I guess that And Black Women Build Wealth says that's a portable diffuser. Yes, it is for sure.
Yes,
So,
yes.
so yeah, when you have the cotton ball in your brassiere, inevitably somebody is going to smell
Someone who
you.
will smell you. I
Or
love that.
or you when you're walking by or what have you. And that's a good tip when you're traveling.
Mm. Mm.
Part of your
Yeah.
self-care. I don't know about you, but when you're traveling, you can get stressed.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Especially if you're
You
going
can.
through any place with customs. Now you're in Mexico.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So do you have to go through
Mm-hmm.
customs and things of that nature?
Yes. And it is stressful because I also have a dog too. So that's another layer of stress. Yes.
Oh my, so they check you and the doggy, or does the dog
Mm-hmm.
travel? Oh wow.
Yeah, they check him too. Yep. Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
Understood.
Lots of paperwork. Yep.
To go
Yeah.
through. So yeah, so that could be an option for you. And also, I'm glad you mentioned about your pet, because some essential oils doggies may have sensitivity to.
Mm.
Something to
Mm.
think about as well, because some
Yeah.
people, you can actually use essential oils on your pets, but always check safety, which essential oils are best to use for your pets. You could use them just the same as we do humans, but
Mm-hmm.
they need a lot less, because
Mm.
what am I trying to say? Their body mass index is smaller,
Right.
usually
Mm-hmm.
than a full-grown adult. So they a lot less. Yes.
Mm.
So just sharing that.
Helpful. Yeah, that's helpful to know. Thank you.
Yeah. So looking in the chat, it says, "Where in Mexico are you, Marissa?" Black Women Build Wealth wants to know, where are you?
Guadalajara.
All right. In Guadalajara. Somebody
Yes.
else says, let's see. Let's talk about it with Mara. Says, I hear peppermint is calming, or lavender. So peppermint, from my research experience, is that it's more stimulating,
Mm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
uplifting, if you will. And lavender is known to be more calming.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah,
Mm.
lavender is more known
That's
to
what I
be.
found too in my experience using them. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And this same, let's talk about it with Mara says, do certain scents help with stress? Oh, honey, yes. So there are some essential oils. I will start with lavender. I have a video talking about it's actually, it came out last fall around this time in September. It says got stress, it's fall, got stress,
Mm.
because fall season brings on stress sometimes. Parents
Yes.
are going back to school, and
Mm-hmm.
parents and children might be
Yeah.
going
True.
back to school, and that can be a stressful period. So I was offering orange essential oil for stress
Mm.
in that video. So you gave me something to think about. Thank you, dear. I'll put that in the description too, that video. And she says, good to know you. Yes, yes, yes. All righty. If there's no more questions, if anybody have any more questions for Marissa or myself, relationship to this, again, you talk about where can they find you, Marissa, your
Yeah.
channel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. On YouTube, my handle is M Price, MSW, as in Master of Social Work. On Instagram too, M Price MSW. My website is mpricemsw.com. And you can always send me an email, hello@mpricemsw.com.
Yes. And also your community again. What's the name of your community?
Yeah, Free Black Woman virtual community for digital entrepreneurs.
All
Black
right.
women digital entrepreneurs. Yeah.
All righty. And how do they find that? To go to your channel and the link is there.
Yeah. You can actually go to my Instagram page. That's probably the best way. It's linked in my bio on my Instagram page, MPriceMSW.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Fellow social workers, always good to get together with a sister social worker. I guess
Yeah.
excited.
Absolutely. Yes.
So
Yeah.
just the same as I invited her community, ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to come to my masterclass to learn about using essential oils simply, safely, and effectively. September 30th, I'll put a link in the description, and called 5 things to consider before using essential oil. So those questions that we had in the chat about,
Mhm.
learning, you will learn how to pick essential oils. Right.
Mhm.
In the masterclass, just for that, it giving you those tips to jumpstart you to using it. So no matter what essential oil that you plan to use, we just mentioned some here today, but whatever essential oil that you plan to use, the tips given in the master class will get you through quick process to selecting them. That way you don't have to guess and to take the guesswork out trying to figure out, okay, I have this or this concern. Where do I start?
Right.
You'll have the basics for that.
That's
So
incredible. Yes. That sounds
yeah,
very helpful.
yeah. Well, yes, Black women build well. She said, looking forward to the master class, Danny. I want to thank you. Well, it has been a pleasure as
Oh,
always.
likewise.
I look forward to perhaps having you back if you would grace us with your presence
Oh,
and
yeah.
fellow social worker.
Mhm.
And I applaud you what you're doing, and I salute you and celebrate you and all your endeavors. Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you
Oh,
for having me.
thank you for being here. So again, everybody, thank you for joining, beloveds. It's been a pleasure. Hopefully you learned something new. Again, check out her community. And check out her channel and all her handles on Instagram. And how often do you go live or on your channel?
Try to do it at least once a week on Tuesdays.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's what I'll do going forward. So at least once a week, probably on Tuesdays.
Okay. And this is my first time going live with from Zoom.
Yeah.
Marissa, thank you. You gave me the courage, sweetheart. She's my
Yeah.
inaugural guest for going live from Zoom. So attributed to Marissa. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's been an absolute pleasure. We're going to end here. I hope everybody have a wonderful night and hope to see
Yes.
you soon. Take care
Yes.
now. Let's continue to learn, grow, and share together now.